Hey guys, this is Tony with Geek Designs. Today I'm back with another Geek podcast. Today I want to talk about I don't know how to call it, the trend of being fancy. I've seen this happen a lot with designers. They just start out and they just want to be fancy. They just want to have all the stuff right away. You know, the fancy laptop, the fancy office, the fancy desk, the fancy tools. But, a lot of people don't start out that way. I want to talk about this, how it affects you, how it can negatively affect you, and how it can hurt your growth as a designer. But to start out, I usually talk about what I've been doing as an in-house designer and a freelance designer, just to give you guys some honest, real-world information of how it is to be a designer. As an in-house designer, we kind of just relaxed from the party. It was a big party, but stuff's still going on. We had a big content marketing meeting the other day about relaunching it, and it was pretty good. It had to get awkward because of the topic. Sales team has been letting us down, so we had to let them know, hey, this is what you guys have been forming as, and it's not been up to our standard to keep this program going. Sometimes you need to have that topic or that discussion as a designer, and it's hard if you haven't done it before, and it's hard to do it right. Also, we've been kind of revamping our email blasts. We kind of took them down for a little bit just to get through this party, webinars, and so forth. So we're doing that also, and also getting ready for our Christmas party on top of that. So these are things that I've been working as an in-house designer. There's some other smaller things that are starting to pick up, but I'll let you guys know as I get through them. As a freelance designer, things are still slow. It's going to be probably slow to the end of the year, unless I can find a couple of other clients. This kind of happens every year. Around October, November, December, it kind of slows down, which is good for me to have time to kind of straighten out my head and try to figure out what to do next year. But been working on streaming more, YouTube videos. You guys been listening to the podcast more. If you want to watch YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/c/InnerGeekDesigns. If you want to check out the stream when I stream, twitch.tv/InnerGeekDesigns. I'll go live on there a couple times a week, show you guys my work, or maybe I'll play a game and talk with you guys. It just depends what I feel like I'm doing. So let's get to the topic today. Being too fancy of a designer when you start out. This is something a lot of designers are struggling with. They just want to look like a designer. They don't want to actually do the hard work that it takes to become a freelance designer. And it's a big issue, honestly. People want to have their MacBook. They want to have their Starbucks drink. They want to have the fancy office and the fancy desk and look like a designer. But the look does not get you as far as you think it might. I have worked as a freelance designer for 7 years now, and I started with a ThinkPad. It was old, it was bulky, it had stickers all over, it was falling apart, and I showed up to meetings like that. I showed up to meetings with it, and you know what? No one had an issue with me showing up like that. And no one's going to judge you by the way that you walk into a room, what tools you're using. The tool is your tool. If you are comfortable with the MacBook, use it. If you're comfortable with the Mac, use it. If you're comfortable with the PC, use it. Just don't use a tool because it looks fancy, and that's what designers are supposed to use. Use what tool you're comfortable with. Also, when you start out as a designer and you look fancy, it actually hurts you. Because now you're showing that you're at a point in your life when you're really not. People want to see that journey. They want to be part of that journey. So if you're fancy at the beginning, they don't know where you've started or how you've started. Also, they like to see the growth that you've had, and they want to help you grow. Your clients want to help you grow. They want to help you grow because you're helping them grow. It's a partnership. I also see this now that I'm more into the streaming world, or streaming more. I see it more, and as I try to find more clients, I'm seeing more streamers that are trying to get this stuff. That's logos, panels, end screens, when they haven't even got that many viewers yet, and that doesn't make sense either. It's the same thing. You're trying to look fancy, thinking that it's going to help accelerate your career, but it's not. It actually is going to hurt it. What happened to the guy working in the garage, starting from nothing and getting your hands dirty? I don't know where that story went and where it's gone. Those are the stories we need. I started with nothing. I had only a laptop and I made an entire company. Those kind of stories. The stories that, people always like to romanticize the Apple story. And I think that's a good example. They started out in a garage. They just had tools to make a couple computers. They sold them. They built the company. Without that story, Apple wouldn't have much. So I think you need to have your own origin story. You came from little. You built something up. Most people don't get attracted to the story where, my daddy gave me X amount of dollars and I raised my company. That story doesn't connect with most people. They want to know that you're an average Joe, you became something, so forth. Not knocking people who use Apple products or even just dress like that normally and actually enjoy dressing like that. If you like dressing like that and you like Apple products, go ahead, be you. But if you're doing it as a facade, as a way to kind of try to find new clients and show yourself as something you're not, stop it right now. Figure out who you are, be who you are, and show that as a freelance designer. I will tell every client, I'm a PC guy, came from gaming, don't like Macs. And most look at me a little weird because, the kind of story is, designers only use Macs and Apples, but hey, it is what it is. I'm kind of rambling. I don't know really where this one's going. It's just been something that's irking me a little bit. But I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. This one's a little earlier than usual. I'm going to be spending some time with my girlfriend tomorrow, so I wanted to get one out for you anyways for the week. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.